In this video, I'm gonna be talking about cash and how that plays a part in purchasing a home and getting approved for financing. The problem is, so many of you out there have cash maybe in a safe at home or under your mattress, or maybe you just don't believe in banks. How do we get that into your bank account so that me as a lender, I can make sure that we can get you financing for a home and we're not gonna have any problems throughout the loan process? In this video, I'm gonna be talking about why it's so important to season your money, what does that mean, and how to best help your lender help you get approved for your home loan. And if we've never met before, my name is Seanu Uyehara. I'm a sales manager with Loan Depot, helping you finance your homes all across America. Whether you're thinking of purchasing, refinancing, buying an investment home, or even your first home, I've got you covered all across the country. Make sure to hit the description below so you can click the links to learn more about how to get your mortgage right. One of the biggest issues that we have in lending is we need to make sure that we can document where your closing funds, your down payment, your earnest money comes from. One of the bigger issues that we have is money laundering. And we need to make sure that as a lender, we can track and trace where the funds are coming from. We don't care what you spend your money on. We don't look at your bank statements in that sense, but we do look at the bank statements and how much money is there and how much of it is going to get allocated for your earnest money deposit, how much of that is going towards your down payment, and then at the final signing, when you send in your final wire, how much of that money will you need to close on the house? All of these things should be covered up front when you get pre-approved with your lender. This is why it's so important to make sure that when you're getting pre-approved, you do provide the bank statements of where the funds are coming from so that way your lender can make sure you're not gonna have any issues. Now, if you're watching this video and let's say you work as a waitress or you work in a nightclub or you work somewhere where you get tips, a lot of tip earners all across the country like to save their money at home. So you might have a shoebox with $10,000 in it. You might have a safe that has 10 grand or 20 grand in it, and you deposit the money when you feel like it. The thing you want to make sure is that you communicate this with your lender, because if you go to the bank tomorrow and you deposit $9,000 because you want to stay under the $10,000 limit, we still need to know where that money came from. So your mortgage lender is going to ask you, hey, Eugene, where did this $9,000 deposit come from? Well, it came from my shoebox. Well, we're not gonna be able to use that because we can't source and trace the money. Now, what does that mean? Now, if we rewind the tape back to 2007 when subprime loans were running rampant, people were literally getting other people to buy houses with their credit as they would give them the money to go buy the house. That's what's called a straw buyer. So you're essentially doing fraud to purchase homes. So that's one thing that a mortgage lender is going to look out for. We need to make sure that your money is your money. Because if you deposit that $9,000, where did that money come from? Did it come from the realtor who's representing you because maybe they want to buy a house, but their credit sucks? Or maybe it's money that you're laundering for somebody else. There's so many things that could literally be out there that you might be doing all the right things and you want to do the right thing so you don't get in trouble, but as a lender, we need to make sure that everything checks the boxes. But let's just say you do have some cash that you need to put into your bank account in order to use that funds for your purchase. Typically in the mortgage world, we want to see that the money's seasoned. And by seasoned, I mean that the money's been sitting in your account for at least 60 days. So sometimes what we've done in the past with our clients is, let's say they do have that $10,000 that they're going to deposit. That's fine. We may need to wait the 60 days so the money sits in the account, so that way when we do ask you for your bank statements, we don't see that large deposit that goes in there. And that's one way that you can get around having to source those funds. Now, of course, not everybody has time to wait to let the money season in their bank account. So there are other ways that you can get around purchasing a home by also utilizing a gift. So let's just say you have a family member that wants to help you with a home purchase. If they have the money sitting in their account, they can certainly help you with the down payment. They just need to sign a gift letter. They can wire their money to title and help you with the down payment. Then you can go ahead and reimburse them for the money after the closing. This is one of the most common ways that a lot of clients like you, if you're using cash, that you can get a family member to help you with the purchase. Now, let's just say you don't have a family member that has the funds. Unfortunately, you may need to wait, or make sure you get with your lender ahead of time if you're thinking of purchasing, so that way you can get the money in the account, it's seasoned, you're not gonna have any issues, so that way once you do get qualified, you kind of eliminate that one headache that's really gonna kill the deal at the end of the day. Now, another thing that comes up is if you were to take cash out of one account, let's say your savings, and you wanted to move that into your checking account, you can certainly do that. But one of the things I strongly suggest you do is however much money you pull out of the savings account, you wanna take that same dollar amount to the T and put that in the checking account. For example, let's say you were to pull out $10,000 again. You wanna deposit the entire $10,000 into the other account so that way there's no issues. And again, we can paper trail the money. I can look at your savings account, see the withdrawal, I can look at the checking, and I can see the deposit. The problem becomes if you go and take out $10,000 out of the savings account, and now you go and deposit $9,200 into your checking account. The issue is gonna become, what happened to the $800? You can say it's the same amount of money, however, we now have that in question. And whenever you're getting a home loan, you don't wanna give the underwriter any sense of doubt, because if they have doubt, they're gonna ask questions. And when they have questions, they need you to be able to prove that, so that way we can sign off on the condition, we can move forward and get your loan approved. That's also another big red flag when it comes to cash and purchasing a home. Another thing we like to consider with cash deposits is it consistent? So let's say you are a bartender and you do get cash tips and you're depositing money every single Friday. Now, an underwriter is going to look at that and see, okay, you have a history of doing that, you're consistent, and the dollar amount that you're depositing is consistent. So typically, a letter of explanation could easily satisfy that condition, explaining why you do what you do. Again, if we go off the rails and let's say one Friday you deposit $5,000 and normally your deposits are $1,000, the underwriter is going to ask, where did this money come from? What happened? So again, if you have a good letter of explanation, that could easily satisfy the condition. However, if you got some cash in the shoebox that you're trying to throw into the account, be prepared to answer those questions from the underwriter, or just know that you may need to come up with some extra funds in order to purchase. Those are some of the biggest red flags that we see when it comes to cash and financing a home. So make sure to check out this playlist right here so you can learn more about how to get your mortgage right, and I'll see you on the next video.